Yeah, so we're fitting the aqua panels into the shower enclosure onto the top of the tray, and in the instructions it says you actually have to glue the panels to the wall, so there's no screws or anything like that involved. So basically you've got to rely on the walls being reasonably straight because you're gluing straight to the flat surface. Now the only problem we're having here is that we've got the wall running out on the stud wall. At least that amount, and that's with one panel already fitted. The actual wall behind it was worse than that. There's some extra glue behind there, so that's what we got with the finished panel. And what we're having to do here on the upright, I've just measured the two measurements, and between 900 width of a tray, we've got 79 inches at one in the corner, running out to 80 at the other end. So not only have we got a slant going up this way, we've also got to compensate for a slant coming this way.
So what you're saying is that the person who did this work, the chippy as it were, when he laid the boards, what is it? These
the aqua panels for the shower.
Yeah, but when he put this up, the plasterboard.
The plasterboard, yeah.
So when he laid the plasterboard, what happened there? He didn't know how to lay it properly.
Well, basically what it is, it's if you're doing stud work from scratch, timber frame stud work from scratch, you need to get your uprights level for starters. I mean, there's no point even starting if you can't put your uprights level even before you even start doing anything else. And what's happened here, for some reason, it bends over like this. It starts off the bottom half, isn't too bad, but as soon as you get above halfway, the whole thing is going like this. So what's happening is, sometimes with the naked eye, it's not so noticeable once it's all plastered and painted. When you come and do something like this, well, it's got to be somewhere near right. I mean, a little bit here and there is not too bad, 5 mil or something. But when you've got sort of like an inch of 900 running out, that's not really what you call sort of acceptable, I would have thought.
And with the wooden frames around the door, what did you notice there?
Well, basically, they're all oversized. I mean, sometimes you buy door liners in a pre-pack, which is fair enough. But if you haven't built your wall that's the same thickness, you've got to cut it down. I mean, it takes longer, but that's what you have to do. And of course, this has just been screwed straight in at their manufactured thickness. It's wider than the stud wall. So what happens is you end up with like a ½ inch of the door liner sticking out from the finished wall edge. So when you put your architrave on, basically you've got a massive gap between the edge of the architrave and the wall. There's nothing you can do about it apart from fill it, because the liner has been installed oversized.
I see. So other than that, with the chip, I mean, what do you call it? The panel board. With the panel board, you said that it wasn't properly adhered to. I mean, you said it was loose or whatever.
Well, basically what it was when you build a stud wall, basically what you're doing, you're building a timber frame. So you're putting uprights in, then you're putting horizontals in as extra supports, and basically you screw your plasterboard to that. For some reason, the uprights are one thickness, the horizontals are a different thickness, which is smaller. So what happens is, when you put the board across, you can only screw the board to the uprights on this side, because there's nothing, the timber's too short on the other side. So what happens is, you've only got screws on the uprights. Whereas as soon as we did a channel out for the pipe work, the board wasn't sitting against anything. If you had to, what I've done is I've put some extra horizontals in, just to make sure that the board actually stays in one place.
Yeah.
But what it is, on this side, he's pushed the timber up to this side, so this one's screwed in. But of course on this side it isn't. So probably maybe you thought because there's a shower closure going in, it didn't matter too much. But either way, if it was going to be tiled or aqua panel, you need more support than that.
So it's not a quality job?
No, it's a bit rough.
So how would you describe this kind of person?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say on just look at one.
Could I say, well, this is a cowboy job, or could I just say, well, it's not a very well done job?
It just seems a little bit thrown together.
I see.
It's not. I wouldn't say the guy didn't know what he's doing, but it was like just put it together as quickly as possible, and and that's it really. I mean, it wouldn't have taken that much longer to trim the door liner down and make sure the timbers were level and put the same size timber in the whole thing. Wouldn't take that much longer. What, hour?
Yeah.
Something like that. So what have you gained really? Nothing really, because then you end up, once it's all finished, you've got something like this that it's difficult to work with.
And what about the rest of the job? Have you noticed anything there, or you haven't got to it yet?
Well, it's not as such. I mean, apart from the plumbing things that we had, no provision. Obviously, there's obviously a shower valve going here, mixer valve, and of course, the initial what was it? The original plan was for the plumber and builder was to put a pump inside the vanity unit, and then obviously run the pipes over and clean the shower, which is all fine. But because there's a kitchen next door, they've brought the hot and cold in from the kitchen, but teed into the kitchen cold water main, which means that you can't fit a pump to do the shower on cold water mains, which is basic plumbing anyway. So what we've had to do for now...
So what do you think? If he knew that, the plumber, he was expecting to then say it didn't work and get more money.
It's hard to say really, but there's no way that you'd be in the job and not know that you can't fit a regular twin propeller pump to water mains. It's basically one of the first things you learn as you go along. It's not nothing that's that it's a bit vague. You wouldn't sort of be sure of. It's something that's quite easy to pick up on straight away.
Mm-hmm.
But even before it started, fitting the stuff out. I mean, you could, as soon as you showed me what had been done, I could say, well, that's not going to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what we've had to do is we've had to run it onto cold water main and the hot, and we're going to try and reduce the pressure on the cold as best we can, and see how this is going to work. If not, what we'll have to do is what should have been done initially is a separate cold feed, gravity fed, to match the hot gravity fed supply for the shower. And that's why it should have been done to start with. But we haven't got that, so we have to work with what we have.
Thank you very much.